everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I'm Reverend Tiffany, White Sage Woman. This show is brought to you by True Psychics Network. You are watching this show that's recorded either on TPN TV via Ustream, or you are watching it from the YouTube channel, True Psychics Network YouTube channel, and also from my personal YouTube channel, Goldylocks Temple of Healing. So there's many ways you could be watching this archive show, or maybe even from my website. But anyway, I recorded, this is not a live show today. I actually am recording this because I do have a conflict of scheduling. I have a producers webinar, a webinar for producers at the time that my show normally is, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So I thought, I'll just record first. I'll just do a recording and put it out there for everyone who wants to watch it. So the archived hits and are higher anyway. And not saying anything against those that watch it live. You know I love you. And I appreciate each and every one of you, no matter how you watch this show. So those of you who are longtime viewers, just like to say we are starting a True Psychics Network, TPN TV and radio, are starting the 5th season. So this is the first show of Spiritual Insight with season 5. Starting season 5, starting the 5th season. Woo! Wow. It's interesting and exciting, isn't it? Yay! So anyway, those of you, like I said, those of you who normally do watch know like the little, I'm gonna say routine or the schedule of how I do things as far as with numerology. I'm going to kind of skip that part, the beginning, because this show might not be an hour. It's probably going to be like 40 minutes depending on the time. But I'm just opening up and just allowing messages. I've been feeling like a little backup lately because I did not have a show last week. So I, just let's get the messages out there that need to be gotten out, that needs to be released. And when I say messages, you might be, what? It's, I don't decide really on the topic that I want to talk about. The guides do. They come to me with, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, and that's what I do. And so, don't you hate that when you have your hair looking really good, and you get in front of a camera or a video camera, and it's like, poof! I have like this cowlick sticking out all over the place. Wow. Whatever. Anyway, it's humid here in Connecticut, in southeastern Connecticut. It's actually, we have a beautiful, like 73-degree day, but there's a chance of rain, so it's kind of humid. So that's why, forget it. Hair and humidity. Anyway, am I vain about my hair? Not to the point like what you may think, but I do believe that I like my hair to be long or at a certain length, because I do believe like hair is our antenna. I don't like short hair on myself. All right. I do feel that my hair helps in picking up in communication, like with nature and with earth and nature spirits and other spirits, and just like I said, an antenna. I really feel like it's an antenna sometimes. It's kind of hard to explain, but they actually did research on this. Scientists did some research. There was about with Native Americans and cutting their hair, and how this was when they were recruited in the army, I do believe. And so they recruited them, and of course got haircuts. But they noticed that before they cut their hair, they would, if they would lay, out on patrol or laying in the woods or, camping or whatever like that sort of nature, that they were very receptive and very in tune with the environment, what was going on around them. But then you take these same people, these men who were very receptive with the long hair, and they cut their hair. And then now they're back into the camp, and they weren't as receptive. They were kind of off. they weren't picking up on things like they were before. So it's very interesting, and I absolutely agree with it, as I know how I feel. And so it was just something personal to me, that I just have to have my hair at least shoulder length. You know, I like it longer. I remember when I was 5 years old, and my hair grew. My mom didn't cut my hair till I was 5, and it was very long because I always would fight her with it. And then when she cut my hair, I had my hair cut. It was short, and I was devastated. I really felt like, you chopped some limbs off of me. I mean, I was just, and I couldn't understand at that time why I felt that way. I just knew it was very much a vital part of me. And my mom couldn't understand either. I don't think my mom understood me anyway, period. But just thought, oh my gosh. But she after that point, she was just, all right, let me know when you want your hair cut. So I was like, okay. But anyway, it's actually very, very fascinating, and see how you feel with that. How do you feel about your hair in regards to your hair? And so, and I'll tell you, it's interesting because in regards to hair, my mother and my brother has my mom's wavy, curly hair, lots of body to it. Mine's always just been straight. And when you have straight hair, you wish your hair was curly. And those that have curly hair, they wish your hair was straight. Don't you find that? Let's just be happy with the type of hair that you have. I'm grateful for my hair. And I did find, though, that I used to blow dry my hair all the time. And there's times when I will, if there's a chill. I have to blow dry my ears, really, more than anything, because I have very sensitive ears, and I can't walk around with wet ears. So it's more to blow dry my ears than my hair. But if I take the blow dryer, or if I go outside and my hair is wet and there's wind, the wind blowing straightens it. But if it's a warm summer day, maybe it's the humidity too, then it gets really curly. It will get curly. So I didn't know that because I was always blow drying my hair. I didn't know that my hair would naturally get curly. So it's fun. I know we probably all kind of experiment with our hair and kind of try to find, that right style. But one thing I do know is that it just, it has to be long. And I don't color my hair. I'm very, like I said, it's very sensitive to me. And I can't pull it back in a ponytail very long, or I can't use those clips because it hurts. My hair hurts. And so it's like, okay, my hair is happier if I just wear it down. So I'm like, fine, I just gotta go with it. I know I'm strange. Whatever, that's fine. I'm used to it. But you just pay attention to your body, your own body. Even my fingernails. I'll try to let them grow long. And if I got impatient, I would try those. I did try artificial nails or the acrylic nails, and then even like the gels. And I have to tell you, maybe my nails will tolerate it for about 4 weeks, but 6 is the absolute max. After 6 weeks, my fingernails are like, I have this feeling of I've got to get them off. My fingernails can't breathe. My hands are suffocating. This just sounds strange, but so then I end up having them removed because it just drives me crazy that way that I'll find I'm pulling them off. That's just how bad. And then it's like my nails are nail beds, and they're just like, oh, we can breathe now. Don't ever do that again. Okay. So it's just pay attention to your body. And, anyway, all right. So what I will do though is the crystal message for the week and the animal message, the spirit animal message. And then I'll go right into conversation. We'll see what the guides want to talk about. It might be all over the place because I've got several here and they want to talk about different things. So I'll try to stay on track and not sound like, whatever. Anyway, the crystal for the week is fluorite. Now, fluorite is beautiful. It's the purple-green kind of mix. It's like a green with some purple through it. And this is, I have a fluorite heart. Isn't it pretty? A fluorite heart. But fluorite is a stone of intelligence. It increases concentration, intuition, and decision-making abilities. So anytime you have something that's important that you need to focus on, just hold a piece of fluorite. Just sit with it for a bit and ask your guides questions while you're holding a piece of fluorite and see if that helps. I always just like to meditate with each crystal or gemstone anyway, and it really doesn't matter what they're called because it's the vibration that's important. And really get to learn the crystal. Like I in my shows, and when I give readings and in all my sessions, I will hold this amethyst crystal here, see? And hold your crystals and find the doorway or the portal. There's an opening. Each crystal has an opening. So try to find it. Hold the crystal and have a communication with it. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you call it. So people get real, oh my gosh, I have to learn all of these names. I offer a Crystal Reiki Master Teacher course, and some of the students are, oh my gosh, overwhelmed when they get chapter 4, which is all the crystal descriptions and the names. And I was like, I don't expect for you to memorize all of them. I want you to just learn the vibration of them. That's all. All right. And so, yeah, just so that you can communicate with, if you're going to go shopping and looking for crystals and gemstones, it's good to know what to ask for, right? So that's the only benefit I would see. But you don't have to put extra stress or added stress on yourself trying to memorize, all the scientific names. Just get the feelings. The vibration is what's more important. Okay, so the spirit animal that just showed up is really, really interesting. It's an ibis. I-B-I-S. And it is a bird. An ibis. You might want to Google this. I-B as in boy. I-S. Ibis. It's almost like ISIS, but that first S is a B. So ibis. And interesting, it's a connection to Egyptian deities. Wisdom, enlightenment, the ability to work with magic spells, understanding ancient wisdom. And when I say magic spells, oh yeah, spell work. It's it's manifesting your intuitions. It's commanding. It's and it's all out of love. It's not out of a harm type of thing. I think when you hear the word spells, or somebody hears spells, they immediately kind of shrivel back a little bit and go, ew, that's dark work. It's not dark work. It's not just dark work. Let me say that, because it's when you work with the higher vibrations of commanding, it's both. You have to understand, bad and good is part of the whole. So you're working with both those energies together in a balanced way. All right, so now let me just sit and see what, there's several things during the week they would come to me. I'm like, okay, file that. We'll talk about it later. Okay, file it. I would sometimes go and jot it down to remember to talk about it, but I got to the point of bring it back to me during showtime. Bring it back to me. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm having them bring it back. Okay, the first one to bring something back. Now, there was just recently something in the social media, in the news, and it was saying gossip about how the Long Island Medium is a fake. I don't watch your shows. I don't watch any of the reality shows. And their reasons for wanting to do those is theirs and theirs alone. I'm not even going to try to justify what they do and why they do it, because that's them and their actions. All right, I will say that it kind of upsets me. Not in that type of news, because there's always going to be people that's going to try to trash us in our field. All right, and talk about, and it's like, whatever. It was the comments that really upset me, was that then it just like opens the floodgates, and then people start talking about, oh yeah, she's a fake just like Sylvia Brown. Let me tell you that, whoa, hold on a minute. Sylvia Brown paved a path for us. And nothing upsets me more when I hear other what's supposed to be holistic professionals speaking against someone else in the field. Sure, there are people out there, fakes, wannabes, whatever you want to call them, in all professions and all areas of life. But, you know, don't feed into that energy, and don't feel like you need to just talk about them for no particular reason. They haven't done anything specifically and personally to you. That's always the thing, is, did you hear this, or do you know this firsthand? If you don't know this firsthand, please be quiet. There's always two sides to the truth. You got two ears, and guess what's in the middle? Your brain, your third eye. There's one side of the story of what you're hearing. There's another side of the story of what you're hearing. Take them both in with no judgment, and your third eye sees the truth, shines the truth on everything. All right? So that's all I ask, is that people to do that. And I do know firsthand that Sylvia was totally misunderstood, Sylvia Brown. I volunteered with her Sylvia Brown Corporation before a huge publisher came in and took over all her tours and expos, so to speak. I have to tell you, I had more fun when it was Sylvia Brown Corporation. I was a study group coordinator, had study groups. Edgar Casey has them too. Edgar Casey has study groups as well. So I was a Sylvia Brown study group coordinator, and traveled with and volunteered, because we got to volunteer when it was Sylvia Brown Corporation, SBC, to all these expos. I think the last one that was under Sylvia Brown Corporation was in 2002. We were in Freehold, New Jersey. And at the time, I was... my family and I, we were living in Georgia. We were stationed in Georgia. My husband, he's retired Navy now. But so we were stationed in southeastern Georgia. And so we drove up, me and my sons. My husband was out to sea, and then met one of my dear friends who was living in Maine at the time. So we met in New Jersey, and we volunteered, and we had a blast. Many people don't know that when Sylvia Brown sold stuff off her website, when she sold stuff under Sylvia Brown Corporation at expos and events like this, she didn't charge tax. You know, she paid the tax herself. So that would burn me up when I hear ungrateful people talking out of term, not even understanding what they're talking about, when she not only did all of this for people, a form of giving back. She did give back. She was very strong in her community, and just like I said, allowed herself to be tested to pave the way so that these others, as we're awakening, we don't have to be, and that we have a voice. All right. So let's honor always our ancestors. And we may not always agree with some of our ancestors' methods, but please know that they help pave the path. And as we continue on, do you want to be remembered that way too? Do you want someone to talk about you out of term, out of text, out of what? What makes them say things like that? Their own self-securities, their own knowing that they'll never be that big, and they just want to pull someone down? What is that? Analyze that. Analyze what makes you want to tear someone else down. Is that a jealousy? It's something that we need to do some self-work on when you feel like you want to do that to somebody. And catch yourself. Because there is enough people in this world that need help, enough work for everyone, enough sharing, all right? And there's enough for everyone. There should be no competition. We all are here to help one another, all right? And so those types of comments are the ones that kind of just, wow, that's upsetting. That's just a slap in the face. How rude can you be? And by the way, those that participate in judgment is participating in the separation of humanity. You are part of the problem of separation. Stop it. And yes, the truth may hurt, the truth may sting, but we have got to open your eye. We have, all of us together as a unity, have got to realize that thousands and thousands of years of doing things a certain way does not work. It has not worked. A lot of changes are happening and occurring now. Yay! And it's good changes. Forget what the media and the news is saying. All right? That's just the people that don't want to change and that resist. And unfortunately, yes, there's some victims caught in the middle of all of this, but you don't know what their deal is and what their agreement is with karma either. Do they have to balance the scales? That's the thing with the victims. They agree to this. They agree to whatever they have to go through, and until you can actually stop karma from repeating by stopping your reoccurring actions. All right? Right now, I'm going to get to that place of balance. When you stay in a balanced position for so long, and you keep doing that and you keep doing that, guess what? You are now free of karma. Okay? Because you've gone back and have healed everything. Your past, your present, your future. You have just, once you're in balance and you like that alignment, and you stay there and strive to stay there. And I'm not talking about stay there 100% because we're not back in our light bodies yet. All right? So, but it's the working on it. Absolutely working on achieving back to our divine design as light beings. Stay hydrated, y'all. You getting your water? You need, half an ounce of water every day per your body weight. So it's pretty much like if you take your body weight, however much you weigh, and we're just going to use like 150 or 160 as, let's say 160 as an example. So you weigh 160. Half of that is 80. You need 80 ounces of water a day to stay hydrated. Now remember, you can have flavored waters, and make sure they're natural. If you're going to put some natural lemon, you can put the apple cider vinegar in there. I know a lot of people, it's getting to be warm again. Like the lemonades. Just watch. If you're going to use sugar, make sure it's organic sugar. All right. Don't use the white processed sugar. There's raw sugar. All right. There's organic sugar. You can use coconut palm sugar. Some people, if you want to sweeten with honey, it's just a lot of honey. But it's up to you on what you want to do. If you're making a big pitcher, is what I'm talking about here. Making it by the glass, that's good too. So it's, don't use those. They're real popular now. Those artificial fruit things you squeeze in there. Those sweeteners or flavor enhancers for your water. Wow, you're better off drinking a soda. I mean, really, because it's got the same stuff in there. Maybe not the carbonation, but it's got the same high fructose corn syrup, or it's got some chemicals in there. It's not good for you. So anyway, always pay attention. Stay hydrated. Just wanted to share that tidbit. Like I said, I have just letting go, letting the guides go where they want to talk and discuss. So, excuse Excuse me. Tickle in my throat. I'm just checking comments here because I was telling a couple of people that I'm recording now. So I wanted to see if they wanted to add to the show. So they're just like, oh, that's great. So I will get this up by the end of the day, like I said, and we'll be able to be viewed. So anyway, all right. So let me plug back in here. Kind of got a little distracted. So, all right, guys, what's the next thing that we wanted to discuss? Yeah, just, it's the emphasis, and I know that it may seem like it's a repeat a lot of, but this is the time we have raised our vibrations, and Earth's dimensions, Earth vibrations are rising, and with or without us, it's nothing to do with us. Earth has her own mission. She has her own plan, so to speak, soul path. And she's very much a living, breathing being. And if we don't get on board and live harmoniously with her, she's going to shake us off. Which she should be. Could you imagine? Here, you know what we're going to put into the soil? We're not going to sit down and put our love and sing or we're not going to soak our love back into the soil. You know what we're going to do is we're going to shed blood all over it. Here, drink blood. You want to drink blood? You want to be forced to drink blood? This is what we have done to the Mother Earth, and I just want you to understand this. And this is why they should never build on battlefields like that where a lot of blood has been shed. It needs to be a place where, and I'll tell you, when I send out distant healing every day, I send out to places like that. Send out to where there's vortexes in the earth plane that's holding negativity, helping the earth release all of that. She does this to protect us because it could rip us all apart. So send like that, of course, and then anyone else who any other beings who would like to receive, you just be able to receive the healing. But that's where I specifically direct to, is in these areas of the earth plane that needs it, all right, to help keep the earth balanced, and to because there's people who oh well, and there's a lot of speculation of space bases, of whatever, we're already in space, you just don't know it yet, and that when we have done harming the earth, we're going to go to the moon base or Mars or go other places. Really? If you think our alien ancestors are going to even allow that to completely happen, you better think again. Well, why are we going to destroy a place, an earth plane, and then move it somewhere else and try to infect the rest of space, and then try to move out and to infect the rest of the universe? It's crazy. Okay, so now people had asked me too, thank you, are there evil or bad aliens? Only those in this system that are caught up in that separation of negativity and positivity, of good and bad. Those that are right here, yes, they can get caught up in that. It's a choice. They can choose whether they want to remain or not. But the energies are so heavy and so dense. Okay? And of course there are the higher vibrational, the watchers that are watching us, and they can't interfere with us, not like you think. They can give us, remember like those old stories of the gods and goddesses, at the times of the gods, and they would send mortal man, they would send down weapons, they would send down tools, they will send down something to help you. Well, they do in that regard, whether it's a spiritual tool or something, even if it's tidbit wisdom that helps you, that helps us. Now, because humanity has to get back to a certain level before they can come back in instead, to show that we're serious about this type of work, about raising our vibrations again. All right, when we first came on this earth plane, we were not in human bodies. We were in our light bodies. And it was so we can really have this earth experience. Let's create these earth bodies. They first tried to push the souls into animals. This is why the Greeks tried to, have a recording of this, whether Atlantis or some of the earlier recordings of this is where you get the animals and the human experimentations or whatever. But it didn't work because the animals was too animal, could not be taken over. All right, the animal was more powerful. So they had to pull out. They were like, okay, now we have to create, so to speak, this human body or this earth suit. All right, so, and when all this was happening, and then as we started to realize and to maybe choose separation instead of working, oh, look how powerful we are. We can have, we can procreate, we can produce and make things, and we've turned our back. And that was the whole story of the Garden of Eden. We fell. The fallen angels, I have not met any fallen angels other than us. Us, those that were in that status, in those upper vibrations, and we fell. All right? The angels that I've always talked to since childhood, the upper vibrations, that they don't have experiences like we do. They were made specifically for protection. They were made, and for so much more too, and for helping us. All right? And so, but they haven't fallen. We have fallen. We were up there, right with them. And greed. You may think, oh, what does that? Greed. Greed. All right. Now, when all of this happened, when we decided to be greedy and we fell, our DNA was stripped. We had 12 strands of DNA. We were stripped down to 2. So now, many of us are restructuring our DNA. Absolutely, we can do that. This is conventional medicine. It's not going to work for you as you are altering your body. Many people may feel strange. My body's been feeling different. I've been going through some things. Let me tell you, healing hurts too. So every little pain that you may be feeling isn't all bad. And here's something too, is that more and more people are becoming aware of their bodies. As they're becoming aware of their emotions, and they're plugging in, and they are, ooh, I feel this here. Maybe I feel this in my gut. Oh, I feel this in my throat. I feel this in my head or in my ears or wherever, in my knees. Now you're suddenly feeling it because you're waking up. You're feeling where you're storing some energies that's not for your highest and greatest. So and I understand you want to go to the doctor and just make sure it's nothing that has physically settled into your body. That's great. But I'm talking to the people that are probably labeled as hypochondriacs. They're always running to the doctors because they know something is going on, but that no one can find anything. That's because this is happening on an energetic level. It's not happening in the physical. Not yet. It's happening in the energetic level, and we have to pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on with our bodies. All right? And the relationship between our emotions and our feelings in regards to our bodies. All right? Where do I feel that? When I'm upset, where am I feeling it? And there's different types of upsetness too. Where am I feeling this? Am I feeling it in my heart area? Am I feeling it in my throat? Am I feeling it in my gut? Where am I feeling it? All right. So, and pay attention. And a lot of us are also human barometers, where we're very sensitive to the weather, and we feel it. Whether you feel it in your knees, you feel it in your ears, your elbows. You feel the pressure change. It's the high and low pressure change. You might be sensitive to moisture, to the water. And so just what is your element too? What element are you strongly working with? Is it wind? Is it fire? Is it water? Is it the earth? Is it a combination? Excuse me. Is it a combination? So pay attention to those types of feelings, those types of who we are, because then you get to see how connected we really are to nature, to each other, to all living beings. We truly are all connected and interwoven, and the actions of one is felt. It reverberates all through the rest of the living system. All right. And so this is why we have to be very careful and take responsibility for our actions. All right. So, yeah, very good stuff. Excuse me, take another sip of water. And a lot of people too that are in the, I know I talked about this before, with money and abundance. We still kind of have this little struggle with it. All right. Anything that has to do with money, abundance, or anything that you want or need. There was a great show on, a great True Psychics Network radio show on last week. Healing with Hypnosis by Jane Bartrope Babbitt. She's on every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Last week she had a special guest, is Jean Slater. Wonderful, wonderful concept. Now, sometimes it takes, when you hear spiritual teachers talk, and we all are spiritual teachers when we share our experiences. When we hear everyone talking and sharing, all right, it might be the words are different, the interpretation might be different, but the concept is the same, and it's very beautiful. So, what I liked about Jean Slater, and this is, I've got her book, it just came the other day, it's called Hiring the Heavens. Hiring the Heavens. All right, it is a practical guide to developing working relationships with the spirits of creation. All right, and if you really want to know in a nutshell what this book is about, go back and listen to last week's show. I've made it really easy. It's on the True Psychics Network website, True Psychics with an S, TruePsychicsNetwork.com. Click on the radio tab. Scroll down, and you'll see some archive shows, and that show is there. And it, again, was with Healing with Hypnosis, the special guest, Jean Slater, and her book, Hiring the Heavens. Check out that interview. All right. And it's something that I was doing, but I didn't consider it hiring the angels. All right, you have to understand the angels. What we know about angels, we just know about the major ones. All right, there's some major. Some people delve in the minor. All right, but you hear about the archangels, the archangels. You hear about, all right, all the popular ones you know about, and there's a lot of people out there who work with those, and that's great. I've always worked too with, I knew that the phylum is so huge of angels, and there's thousands and thousands. I mean, it's just unlimited how many want to work with you. All right, so they want to work with you, and they're here for what you may think minute things. Hey, I lost a ring, help me find it. And it's I liked her concept, because I always don't ask, command in love, not command out of frustration, all right, but command out of love. It's a commanding request. All right, when you ask, why are you asking? You are a divine birthright. You have every right to command. So Jean's concept here is that you ask, or you hire. You specifically ask for, it could be anything, whatever task at hand you need help with. You need help with getting your car fixed. The team comes in and they help you. Taking everything that you need, basically, to the spirit realm before the physical realm. We haven't been taught that, have we? We've been taught in society, my car doesn't work. If it's beyond my realm of knowledge, I'm going to have to take it to somebody, a mechanic, right? Why not take it to a spirit mechanic? Yes. And it does work, and it is very effective. I've been working with these energies for a very long time, and in my healing work, I see spirit doctors, I see the healing angels, which all angels are healing, but I call them specialists, spirit specialists is what I would call them. They would come in and they would perform just beautiful acts of love that it's like, wow, this is really cool. And then even like with vehicles, and fixing your car, just anything, you have to listen to the show. And the book has a lot of great examples. There's some people wrote in who applied her techniques, and so she put it into the book and showed what they did, what their methods were. Absolutely wanted to hire a team to help you with your finances, to help balance the money. I like the word budget, because budget means you're confined within a specific amount. We're not. So just, balanced in money, balanced in the abundance. Work on that. Okay? And so you hire a team, you command, write down. This is a journal. Journaling is so powerful. And that's what I did, it's cute because I do that anyway. I would have question and answer sessions with my guides in my journal. And then I would command specific things that I would need assistance and help with. It's not take care of this for me, because there's some things we may have to do, we're going to have to follow up on. Okay? And so I'll give you one example, was that there was one woman who said that her husband was a skeptic in all of this. And so he was like, okay, sure, I'm going to hire the heavens to fix my car outside. And the wife laughed at first, because his car had been sitting there. It had fire. To where it had melted coins that were left in the car. It wasn't going anywhere, much less starting. All right? So he hired a team of specialists, hired his team to come in and let the car start so he can get it to the junkyard without having to pay to get it towed. If it gets started, I'll take it to the junkyard and get it out of the yard. Oh, what wife wouldn't want that? But anyway. So he goes, I would give it 3 days. So he goes outside, not knowing what to expect, right? Gets in the car, starts, and turns it over, and he hears it trying to start. It's trying to turn over. Big improvement from before, where you put the key. There's nothing. This is a sign of life. He was like, wow, he can't believe that is even trying to turn over. So then he gets out. He goes around and he pops the hood. And sitting on top of the motor there was the special mechanics tool. He didn't have this tool. It's not his, but it was left for him. For him. And he knew exactly what to do with this tool to get the car started. And he used it, and the car started. All right? It works. It absolutely works. I've seen it work in several different ways. I've never just kind of applied it to every day. Hey, I need help with this. But it was like, okay, well, that's true, because there's angels everywhere waiting to just help and step in any way that they can. And then, of course, like I said, there is spirit that wants to help too. Like I said, spirit specialists. And when I say spirit, I incorporate all the guides, guides and angels, and even our and I hate to say the terms aliens, because we are in our history. Guess what? We're related to aliens. They are our ancestors. Yes. So don't be scared. Even the ones that, how can we be related? We don't even look like them. Keep in mind, you don't know what you looked like before this earth plane. Do you remember your light body? Do you remember what you look like in different creations, in different, say, past lives? Because there's lives, what they call lives between lives, where you've had other lives, not just on this earth plane. Usually when people say past lives, they're talking about your past lives on this earth. But you've had other lives. You haven't always come back to earth. You've gone to other universes. You've done other things in upper vibrations. You've delved elsewhere. Okay? So, and you can remember that. And what did you look like? You didn't always look like what we look like now. Of course. Our outer appearance always changed. Our soul suits, I call them. Our soul suits. To house our soul. And they are temples. This is why we had to be very, even though they are temporary, even though they are considered disposable, they are very sacred. And we have to honor these temples. All right? Because they are helping us in our mission. They are helping us. So it's it's very, very beautiful. And how we see things and see life in a huge, see the whole picture, not just a little bit of it. And I think we've all been raised to see just a little bit of it, unless those that are born awake, so to speak. And you always feel like you're just, the black sheep of the family, of society, of the community, because you see things that no one else does. Right? You experience things that no one else does. Well, you're seeing the whole picture. You're seeing outside the realm of whatever the box is that has been created for society. So, whatever that is. But there is no box. It's an illusion. All right? The only separation that exists is the separation that we create. All right. So I have got to kind of wrap this up here, because I've got to get to my the webinar for producers, for show producers, because I am a show producer for True Psychics Network, the TV and radio shows, and hey, yes, I can produce my own shows. So great benefit, right? Well, there's some new software upgrades, and so they're going to show you how to utilize every aspect of it, and I'm all for that. So let's utilize it. And spiritually, let's utilize all the tools and who we are spiritually. And it's fun to explore. And many of us, and it's absolutely normal and okay to feel like I don't even know who I am, because it seems like we spend the first 30, sometimes 40 years just trying to rediscover who we are. And these kids coming in now are much more open and awake, and they are discovering and catching on and keeping that, all right, in their lives a little bit faster. So I think that's beautiful. And they can talk about it now too. This is a difference. As those of us that we were suppressed as children and had to work our way out of all of that. All right, where the kids coming in today, hopefully they are allowed to be who they are, and because they have a lot of powerful things to teach us. They are powerful teachers. All right, so thank you all so much for watching this show, whether it is an archive. So thank you so much for watching it. And I hope you do catch my show. Let's see, next week. Yeah, the 12th. May 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be live again at that time. So thank you, everyone, for watching this show. And if you have any questions or any topics that you would like the guides to discuss, please do so. There is a lot that is going to be exposed. This is like a final note. And see, the guides, the angels, God, Creator, Universe, is trying to be very careful with how things are exposed, because they know that if it's too fast, we reject it. So, but realize that everything has been a little bit subtle and coming in and moving in and moving in and opening, and we really are coming to a place of where life as you know it, those of you who like living in that structured box and in that structured way of being, your world's going to get jumbled up. Your world's going to, just please understand, and it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. It's not going to be as catastrophic as you think it's going to be. And understand that with each end of something, each end of cycle, each death is a rebirth, is the beginning of something else. So we have to let go of old ways of thinking and old ways of being to embrace these new energies, which is just going to be fantastic. And I'm not saying that, it's just going to be, easier. It's, we will know how to immediately assess the situation and go, do I want to take part in separation again? Do I want to go negative or positive, or do I want to stay balanced with this? And okay, it's okay if you go a little, I recognize the negative part. Let's see the good part now. If you're one that sees the negative immediately, that's great. Don't dwell in it. Now let's look at the good. There's some people, if you see the good, immediately want you to see the bad. Now bring it back to the middle. Bring it back to balance. Both as this is how it is. Okay. And go on. All right. So it's all about balance is what it's all about, really, quite honestly. And getting back into that oneness, that wholeness. And that's what holistic means. Whole. So, holistic. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, tuning in again. See, before my guides go on again, before I digress, before I go on, and thank you so much. And okay, wow, it's I have a bunch. We all have a lot of guides that are around us. There's sometimes my alien guide named Andrew likes to come through when I'm journaling, and there's a lot of private things, just because of easing into. But Andrew is saying that he's going to be able to have me channel him very soon. That's huge for me to be able to say whatever he's communicating with me. I usually just do it in a journal, but now it's going to be time, because we have to be careful what we say, what we're channeling. And so I always just want to make sure that people are ready and that it's for everyone's highest and greatest. And because I understand we have to baby step. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in, and many blessings to each and every one of you. Namaste.